Are you ready for a jam-packed episode that's promised to not only give you some book marketing fodder to noodle on, but also get a little inspiration boost as well? Jen and I love our Wednesdays together where we come on a 30-minute LinkedIn Live chat to talk about all things books and life and our favorite coffee mugs and tea. She's an editor and a book coach. I am a marketing strategist and a marketing coach. And together we are both authors who love authors and love helping authors. It's just a win-win for everyone. And you never know what nuggets of goodness we will impart. During this episode, we are holding our caffeine very close as it was just a few days after daylight savings time. So give us a little break there. We talk about a lot of things like how tall Jen is and how short I am, as well as what you probably care most about, when to start promoting your book. But the underlying thread on everything we discuss today is this: focus on the things that you have control about, not the things that you can't. Seems very simple, but probably one of the most beautiful cornerstones of understanding how to live a life in perspective. Probably also a piece of my book, Color Today Pretty, that was published in 2018. You might want to take a peek at that too. So I'm excited to invite you into one of our LinkedIn Lives that highlights when it is promotion go time. And I wanted to also invite you to our Wednesday LinkedIn Lives at 11:30 Eastern, where we talk about questions we are asked from authors and meaningful parts of the book process that authors may not know they need to know. We will be on this Wednesday, and we would love to see you there as well. So, what can happen when a book coach and a book marketer come together for a virtual chat with a cup of caffeine? Anything. And this season, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite topics we've discussed. Today just happens to be, when is it promotion go time? And a little hint, it's now, right now, for you, author friend. So go grab your favorite coffee mug, fill it with whatever caffeine choice or water and hot lemon choice you have, and join us for this meaningful chat. Let's roll. Hey, I'm Stephanie Feger, and Empower is my middle name. Okay, well, not really, but it should be. I believe that empowered people empower people, and I am obsessed with empowering you, the nonfiction author, with impactful marketing strategies to help you take your important message and share it with those who desperately need it, want it, and will buy it. As the owner and chief strategist of the Empower PR Group and the author of 2 books myself, I have merged my love for reading books, writing books, and marketing books to help nonfiction authors with laser-focused strategies and tactics to write books that sell, promote books to those who need and want them most, and build meaningful businesses from empowering messages. Think of this as your one-stop shop for marketing insights from an author who has been there, done that, and understands exactly where you are. All right, go get your pens ready because I am ready to empower you. This is the Empowered Author Podcast. We are excited to have another, this is our third Beyond the Page chit chat. I'm loving it, Jen. Are you?
I'm liking it. This is really fun.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we're chatting again today. We've started to, we're listening to the feedback of individuals who are listening and chatting with us. And so today's topic is focused on a question that somebody had from a previous one. So if you're watching in lifetime or in on the recording and you have a question, Jen and I, we want to talk about it. We want to talk about things that matter to you. So tell us, because we get excited to help you in the moment. Exactly. Anyways, like we've talked about before, Jen and I both work, for those of you all who may not have listened to any of our stuff, we both work with authors, just in different ways. You help authors come to the page, and I help authors on the other side of the page. So we thought it would be, our little chats beyond the page are fun. But we need to make up a joke, that an editor and a book marketer walked into a bar one day. All right, in our sense, it would be a coffee shop. What's your mug look like today, Jen?
Yes. So I don't know if you can see, but I live in Orange Grove country, and this is an old Orange Grove label. It used to be like Summit Groves, and there's a guy. Apparently, our mountains don't actually look that much like this, but there's a guy on horseback going up the mountains. What that has to do with oranges, I don't really know. You can see the color of lipstick I got on today too. But you know what's funny about this? We were talking last time about which way the handle is supposed to go on your mug.
Uh-huh.
So this also, I think maybe when you have coffee mugs, your mug, the picture's supposed to face you. Maybe?
Yeah, I think
because
you're
if I hold it
right.
right-handed, it faces me. So
I know,
anyway,
and as a
I'll hold it this way
lefty,
because I think
I
this is
always,
cute.
right, as a lefty, I'm always holding it in my left hand, and I don't get to see it. I have to like look at my mug and then reflect on it and go. I'm going with my
They
usual
should just
today.
put it on.
I pray one.
Yes, they should just put it on both sides. Like, why
You
not?
know,
Why not put it on both sides?
I'll have to next week use my new kitty cat mug that I got, and what I love about that mug is it's cute on both sides, but when I'm drinking out of it, there's a little saying inside the mug. So when the liquid goes down, I can read it. Of course, it says perfect.
Of course. Like, why would
I love it. It makes me happy. I know. So that makes
that's the whole point,
girl.
right? It should make you smile. You should have something that makes you smile. I'm drinking Earl Grey again. I already had my coffee, but this morning I was kind of like, I probably should have a second cup of coffee because time change is not my friend. It takes me like a week. Terrible.
Listen,
maybe
I'm a farmer.
Apparently, we're supposed to get rid of it. Yes.
I was going to say, I'm a farmer. I get it, but
your chickens
no,
don't know.
move on. They don't know. Move on. The world needs, well, as a parent of little kids, I don't need it. I don't need it. It stresses me out.
Disruption.
Oh, yes.
Just
No,
too much disruption.
I, like on Monday, I felt like I had, partied like when I did in college. And I don't do that anymore.
Right.
Like there was nothing.
Yeah, we're just
no
a little
fun came
old
from
for
that.
this. No. And,
yes.
It's just really hard to recover your sleep. It just is very disruptive. And I was talking about this with all the young adults that live in my house, and that not that it's just one night, but like for the whole rest of the week till you get adjusted, you're waking up an hour earlier according to your body the whole week.
Right.
And so it's just a long adjustment period, and that just doesn't seem like that's healthy.
No, it's not healthy.
If you work really hard to have a good sleep routine, shaking it up is just I don't even care about changing the clock. We have a clock in our kitchen that's really high up, and literally I never change it for the 4 months that we're standard time. I just let it be. Because what's the point? You have to get a ladder out.
To hell with it.
You have to get a ladder out. Yeah, who cares? It's going to be correct in another 4 months. So, but then I noticed the batteries were dead on it, and I don't even know what time it says now. So I have to get my son to get up there with the ladder. Fix it.
Well, hey, you know what,
though?
So
if we got rid of it, life would be easier.
But I have to share this, and I see Danielle is listening in today. So Danielle may or may not have noticed this in some of your recent photos. Hey, Danielle, she said she's having her morning coffee. She is so ready to listen in. Danielle, I want to know what your coffee mug looks like. Take a picture, post it, whatever. But she wants me to send a photo and link of the kitty mug, so I'll have to do that later. But you just talked about a really tall clock. I have to share, Jen. Jen just had the chance to meet up with some buddies of ours that are in the same group coaching program. And before we went live, I said, Jen, you're really tall. And I said, I noticed in the photos you're really tall. And she goes, I am. I mean, not super tall, but 5'8". And I was a fun, fun thing because I'm only 5'2". But when you talk about needing your son to do the clock, in my mind, I'm like, well, Jen, you could probably reach it. Because you're so tall.
Well, we have that part of the house has 15-foot ceilings. So
you're not that tall.
No, it's way up above the refrigerator, so it definitely requires a ladder.
It definitely requires the ladder.
That piece is probably 8 or 9 feet off the ground, so definitely not. But
yeah.
And he's got to have something to do, I mean, I got to give him some work. Anything that remotely looks like it could be physical labor. I just say, Josh, you have the most muscles in this house. You should do this job.
Now, I was sharing with you, I come from a family of really, really tall people. Like, and you do too, but like I have cousins that are 6'8", my dad's 6'2". And it's always fun going to the grocery with my family because everybody else is like me is really short. And then they will just randomly start staring at my dad. And my dad's like, what's going on? They're like, can you get that jar down for me? And but you know what? I don't know what that's like, but I do always say, as a really short human, I say, listen, and I love you, Jen, so I don't mean this in a bad way when I'm saying it, but when it rains, it hits you first. When when we fall, it's at a shorter distance. There's a couple perks of being a short little thing.
There
Yeah.
are. There definitely are. I can reach
Yes,
the top
yes.
shelf things, though. So if you need me to get you something, I can grab it.
She's your girl. She's your girl. I love it. I love
I
it.
do, though. I do often get things off the top shelf at the grocery store for people because I have
See?
not only that, I have very long arms. Like my arms are like longer than proportional to my body. So I actually put that in a book one time. I had a character with she got teased. And nobody ever has called me this, but in the book, I had this character. People would call her monkey arms, and she was very conscious, very self-conscious about that. But she could always get things off the top shelf.
Well,
So.
I never got called any of that, but my mom was really tall. Like I think I said, she was your height, and she was always called bird legs because she had super skinny legs. She was really all legs. Is my mom? People are mean.
Yeah,
they're mean.
Especially about things like your body, like you have any control over what your body looks like.
Exactly.
No, this is what you're born with. You get your genes. You didn't get to choose that, so just make the most of it.
No, focus on the things. It's what I tell my kids regularly because my oldest son is 10 and he is very short at the moment, and he is very uncomfortable about this because he wants to be a basketball player. And I said, listen, tall genes are in your genetics. And I always tell them that I'm a recessive gene. So don't look at me and get hung up on that. Like, it'll be fine.
Right.
But you can't control that. I said, focus on the things that you can control and let go of the things you can't. There's just nothing. You can't control that. Move on.
And here's some hope. My brother, who's 6'6", he, up until 9th grade, was the shortest kid. Both of us were. Shortest kids in our classes up until about 9th grade. And I grew like 5 inches in my 9th grade year, and I ended up, after that point, becoming the tallest. And then I kept growing after high school, which is really unusual for girls. I grew like another 2.5 inches after high school.
Oh, my gosh.
My brother didn't stop growing till like his late 20s. There's hope.
Really?
Like sometimes
There's hope.
If you're more of a late bloomer, it can be a while before you actually hit all of your height. You never know.
See, there's hope. There's hope. But what we just said is focus on the things that you can control and let go of the things you can't. It's a great segue over into
It is a great
book
segue.
Talk. It is. It's book talk.
Yes.
Because, whether you are writing your book or promoting it, I always say don't get stressed out about things that you can't. There are things you can't control. Like, you're not going to make everyone happy. Right. You're not going to reach everyone. Like, there's some things that are just out of your control. Don't spend energy on that. Focus on the stuff that you can. 100%.
Yes,
always.
This is true.
Always.
So much of the book process is really out of your control. There's a lot you can control, but how people react, what they say, reviews, all of that stuff is really outside of your control. And there is a lot about the book writing and publishing process that can really get into your head if you're not careful. And you do have to really be careful about what voices you're letting in and what ones you're not. I've seen a lot of authors just kind of get taken out at the knees by really ridiculous reviews or just an offhand comment somebody made. Even editors can really, if they're not careful, can really destroy somebody. And that just really bothers me when I see that happen because it's not necessary. And with any artistic endeavor, you're putting your heart and your soul out there into the public, and it's very risky. And then to have people kind of stomp on that is like, it's heartbreaking. And so when you are going on the publishing journey, you want to make sure you have people around you who are going to be supportive and encouraging and give you good advice and not be contributing to that stuff, which is really sad and upsetting. I hate it when that happens. And I hate hearing when people have gotten that kind of stuff happen to them.
Well, and I think that's probably one of the big reasons why many authors don't move forward with promoting their book quickly. And I mean, that's the topic today. When is promotion go time? And the reality is now. Like, you please don't wait to market your stuff. But I think we're concerned about what do people think about us? What will they say about us? What feedback will we get? And the truth is that the negative people are going to be negative no matter what. So don't let that hinder you from when is promotion go time. I recently did a workshop on this and thought there were kind of three places of where authors might be. And I thought those would be the 3 spots to kind of hang and have this topic kind of hinge around. So for a moment, Jen, let's talk to the authors who are like writing right now. And I think that might be the individual that asked us last week, when should they start promoting and marketing their book.
Right.
For you guys, I always say, market your book from the first day you start writing. Like, don't not talk about it. And I mean, as an author of multiple books, Jen, like, you know, bringing people on the book journey with you is marketing, and people find that interesting. It helps build interest.
They do.
It helps bring followers, creates demand, right?
People are very curious about the writing process. I mean, writing a book is one of those things that so many people, like, I don't know, over 80% of people say they want to do. Most people never will, but they're fascinated by the idea of it. And so when you are sharing your process, it doesn't have to be anything big. Just like, you know, hey, I spent an hour staring at my blinking cursor today. People can appreciate that. But it's also a great time when you're in it to grab all those little wonderful quotes and those little nuggets and maybe give people a little sneak peek of what you're thinking about, or ideas or questions you're wrestling with. While you're in the midst of it and you're thinking about it, it's a great time to kind of make a separate document of all those little notes and things that you can share. It's going to be wonderful during the book production time, because your formatters will love being able to, you know, pull out some of those wonderful quotes, but you can use them to share with social media. You can use them to talk about, depending on how big and far and wide you want to go. But it's also a great way. I tell people, get a simple website and start collecting email addresses. Because anytime someone says, oh, that's so interesting, you're writing a book, send them to that, collect their email address while they're interested, and then you have the ability to reach out directly to them. Hey, guess what? My book's releasing next week, or here's an advanced copy. Would you be interested in reading it and writing a review? Being able to reach your fans directly is so powerful. You don't want to have to rely on the vagaries of social media and changing their algorithms, and all of a sudden nobody sees your post anymore. You know, and certainly once you start selling your books, none of the retailers give you that information. And so having your own base of people that you can contact directly, it's just never too soon to start that. And people will say, well, I don't really have anything to say. It's okay. It doesn't have to be much. They're just excited to find out about whatever's going on. And so you can share the process with them.
People think you're cool. Like, I have found
they do.
People think, and it's, listen, I think we're all awesome. I think we're all cool. But people think that authors are very interesting. And so sharing that journey is intriguing to them. I mean, I wrote like 80 to 90% of my first book out of this one particular Starbucks. And I call it the magical Starbucks because like super magical things happen there. Really, like, that's a story for another day. That's crazy stuff that has happened in this Starbucks. So I would take photos while I was in there. I'd be like, I'm in the magical Starbucks today. And people would start to go, oh my gosh, can we meet up at the magical Starbucks? Or, you know, tell me about it. Like, who have you met today? So it became a journey. It was, people found the authoring process just as interesting as the book itself. So start today. Don't wait. And don't overthink it. Like, just slowly start talking about it, right? Like, don't get hung up in your head. Don't focus on perfection. You know, like, don't let weird internet issues like you and I are having right now, like, stop you, right? Like, don't let that happen. Keep going.
Yes.
And Danielle, did you see Danielle's comment? Did you just see her comment? She goes, I think you two are super cool and agree. Authors are my superstars. Thanks, Danielle. I don't know. Jen and I.
Danielle's a wonderful fan, too. So that's cool.
Yeah, she's a great fan.
She tells me when she's reading my books, and I love that. That's super exciting.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I will say, when you're talking, you know, about your book, just do it like you're talking about to your friends. Like, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, or like you're not necessarily an expert on all things and every single question about this particular topic you can answer. No, you're just sharing your journey, just like you would talk to a friend about it who says, hey, how's the book going? Right? Just a little thing. It does not have to be a big deal. And I think people, you're right, people just love that behind the scenes stuff, which is really fantastic.
They
just let them know. And because people really do want to support you. I'm always surprised when people are asking me what I do, and I tell them, and I have bookmarks in my purse. I have business cards for business conversations, but people ask me what I write and I give them a bookmark because I mean, they're never going to remember the name of the book and blah, 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 right? But if you're a reader, you love bookmarks, right? You have bookmarks all the time.
I love bookmarks.
And so I give them out all the time. I mean, they're not very expensive to produce, and you can just give them to people all the time. And so when people ask me that, I just say, hey, well, I've got bookmarks, and I'll give them to you. And it always is amazing to me, people who will be like, oh, cool, I'm going to go get your book. And that's just awesome because now you're having a conversation. I didn't have to like sell them on, oh, you need to have this book. But they just expressed an interest. And I was able to just say, hey, this is what it is, and you can go find it. And bookmarks are very, one of those things I recommend to people. Just grab them. They're super easy. You can hand them out to people. You can leave them. A lot of places will let you leave them, like at your library or things like that. A lot of places will do that. But anytime people ask, then you've just got something to give them. Hey, this is what I'm working on. And it just make sure you've got your information on there. How can they get to your website? If you've got a freebie to give away, and we can talk about freebies. Freebies are a great thing.
Oh, we need to put it on the list.
For your newsletter.
Put it on the list. I was actually just thinking, you mentioned bookmark. I think we should put on the list, like, what are the top 3 marketing materials we probably, like, that you will want to have?
Okay.
See, we're coming up with ideas, and I saw we've got somebody else who's just popped in, J.E. He goes, I'm late. What did I miss? You missed all the things. Go back and listen. No, I'm just kidding. We were talking about how awesome and cool authors are, but really what we're diving in today is when should you start promoting? And we just finished up. You should start promoting the day you start writing. Don't overthink it, but start talking about it. The second person, like author, kind of where the author might be in their journey that I thought, Jen, we could talk about is when you decide that you are ready to publish. So some authors, when you get to that place, I think they start taking the author journey a bit more seriously. Okay, I've got a publisher, or I'm self-publishing, or I'm traditionally published. So making that decision, is, I think, another really great time to start talking, because now you're really wanting to drive energy towards the book's release date. And you want to kind of get people going. And I'm a big fan of launch teams. It's something that I help authors pull together, but leverage like a launch team or a street team. And the way to do that is to start talking about it. So, that is a great time to start marketing. You notice I don't say the moment your book launches. I'm talking about when you decide you're about to publish. And that usually is a couple of months before the book comes to fruition. I would say, you've got to hit the ground running there. And because when your book launches, you really want to make sure you've got your ducks in a row. Although, don't fret if your book has launched and you haven't marketed. It is okay too. I've told you about the banana thing, right, Jen? Okay. Like I've said, your book's not a banana. It's not going to ripen. And
that's
have I told you this yet? Yes.
I've heard this.
It's not going to ripen, go bad, draw gnats, be disgusting. Yes, it is. So same thing with marketing. Like it never expires. Start marketing now. Absolutely. So the third group is, I tell people too, speaking of launching, when authors write a book and publish it and launch it, what they don't realize is they're actually launching a business. You got to focus on like sales tax and book sales and inventory and things you didn't know you needed to know. Right. That's another great time to start marketing, because you have to keep momentum going. Like your book, I had somebody just this week tell me that the best feedback she ever got is don't ever get out of launch mode. And what that really means as an author is don't ever stop marketing. Now, it doesn't have to be like intense marketing, but like what you and I were talking about, people want to know what you're doing. They're interested in the journey. They want to know about your characters. They want to know how you're using the book. Like, just don't ever stop talking about it. Ever.
Yeah, you don't want to get to the point where you're like, well, I launched, and so now it's just going to take care of itself. Because there's just so many books out there and so much competition for your attention. Netflix, Hulu, whatever, right? I mean, there's a million podcasts. I mean, there's a million things that are competing for your audience's attention. And so it's nothing bad. It's not like, oh, your book, like you said, it's not a banana. It didn't go bad. But they just, it's out of sight, out of mind. And so a lot of times you just want to remind people, and it may feel to you, I mean, I will say that for myself, I often feel like, oh, I feel like I'm talking about this all the time, especially during launch.
But
honestly, if you're not, they don't know, and it doesn't even really register. If you think about, someone was saying, how many emails a day do you get, like, from Target in your email box or whatever, right? Anything that you've ever signed up for, you just, whatever, if you're not interested, you just delete it and move on. And I think that's the same with this too. Social media or whatever, people just scroll on by. I mean, they're just not, if they're interested, they'll stop, but at some level you're kind of getting into their subconscious, and they're being, oh yeah, that's right, they have that book out, I need to go grab that.
I mean, in the world of marketing, we're bombarded with so many messages on the regular, so you have to talk about it a couple times. The other thing I've noticed is there's a world of people who like to lurk. So just because people aren't engaging or commenting on your post or the outreach you do or any marketing doesn't mean they're not watching. I just spoke with somebody this week who is on the verge of working on pulling her book together. And she said something to me. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. And she said, I watched you the whole time you were bringing your first book to fruition. And like, I was so proud of you and secretly jealous because I wanted to be doing that. It was so fun to watch. And I didn't know that. So that book was 4 years ago. So it's just proof. When you talk about it, you don't know who you're inspiring along the way.
You have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
You have
okay.
No
so
idea.
You don't. We like to, wrap up with what's a book that maybe one of us is reading right now and what's a key takeaway. I don't have the tangible of this book, Jen, because it is not published yet. So I get we get the chance to work with authors before books come to fruition. And this particular author is she is dynamite. She is full of all this energy. And I'm not going to give too much away because she's not ready to go in launch mode. But her book is about mindset and being a person that sees the abilities of what you can do versus the things that hinder you from moving forward. And there was one line as I've been reading her book that I underlined. There were several, but this one particular, it says, you choose what you believe you can do. You choose what you believe you can do. Yeah. And it really sat with me because I thought you were so right. In a world of limiting beliefs, in a world of, we were talking about earlier, fear of how people are going to react and respond. At the end of the day, you're the one choosing if you're marketing your book today. You're the one choosing if you're holding it back. You're the one choosing if you bring your book to life. You're the one, choosing what you're going to do with your book, what's next. So remember, kind of savor in this feeling and moment of realizing you are the keeper of wherever you go.
Yeah.
And then that
so
feels
powerful,
very free.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It hit home for real to me. And I think we all need to hear that regularly. Jen and I are keeping track of questions you have. Today's topic is based on a question somebody brought up last week. So if you have a question, you can either DM either one of us, or you can put it in the comments related to this, or, whatever. Reach out to us. We would love to hear your questions. Awesome. All right, Jen, can you give me a toast to another Wednesday? We did it. Now take a moment to pause and assess what is in your span of influence and control right this very moment. Literally, I mean it. Pause the podcast. Take a moment to reflect. Okay, you can finish the podcast and do it on the other side, but truly, I want you to ask yourself, what can you control right now in your book marketing journey? Are you in the midst of still writing your book? Are you on the verge of launching or relaunching it? Are you building a business from it? Or are you somewhere in between all three of those? Well, when it comes to marketing, you have choices and you have opportunities for control. So I want you to start there. And honestly, if I dissect that single 2-word sentence, start there, I really just want you to start. Don't wait. Do something now. So what can you do today to start? I'd love to know. Pop over to LinkedIn and DM me your answer. I'd love to support you in it. In fact, I'd love to chat with you about what your first and next step is in the marketing space and where that should be. If you'd like to have that chat, you can visit empowerprgroup.com/marketing strategy session and learn more about our 1-hour strategy session that we offer for nonfiction authors. It's a great way to get focused and get started. And there's something else within your control. If you love this podcast and if you're getting so much out of it, something that you could do that would be so meaningful to me is to take a moment to write a review and rate this podcast. It will help other authors out there know that this is something that they're going to get some good life lessons and marketing advice from. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a moment to do that. Thank you so much in advance. Now, I am ready to empower you as you embark on making your author impact. Remember, empowered people empower people. Jen and I love empowering one another, but we really love empowering you. And now it's your turn to go empower others.